Hello folks, Elsa here in my, you can only see the kind of vaguely tiny bit of the kitchen, but I just thought that I would chat with you, let's put you up a bit, while I made rhubarb jam. Not because I'm great at making rhubarb jam, but I keep seeing rhubarb at half price in the shops and I love rhubarb and I just can't resist a bargain. So I keep buying it, but then if I keep buying it I have to turn it into things, and generally I kind of like jam. It's easy to make, and well, the way I do it is anyway, I just do half and half. I don't do anything fancy. Chop up rhubarb, weigh it, put the same weight of sugar in, and then boil it up. And my biggest problem actually is trying to remember to watch it after that, because once I've done that I just kind of think I'm done, and the last time it was completely black, burnt, and I just had to rename it and I called it Rhubarb Toffee Jam, since that vaguely matched what you were trying to get your teeth into. Actually, it was so burnt that you couldn't tell it was rhubarb. It was just sweet and sticky and still quite nice. So this time I'm determined to be a bit more on the ball. Maybe I'll set my alarm for every 20 minutes or something to check it. 10 minutes? I don't know. Anyway, I hope you're all well. Today is Friday. We will be live streaming tomorrow, and I kind of, at the moment, I am running from where we're sleeping to the house. I get up at 5, chill out for an hour, run here, which is 5 kilometers basically, and then do my tune for the morning. And that's kind of my discipline. It gets me out of bed, gets me set for the day, and then after that it all falls apart. But I feel like I've achieved something if I do that. Right, chop up the rhubarb, Elsa. I'm just actually seeing if I can chat and do things at the same time. I'm so not good at doing two things at the same time. If I drive and talk, we can end up in other countries and all sorts of things, the wrong towns, everything goes wrong. So what can go wrong? Just chopping up wee bits of rhubarb, putting them in a pot, boiling them up with some sugar. Yeah. My mum, when we were young, she did most of our jam. I remember helping because it was all, we were self-sufficient. I need to set this to 0 before I can put anything in it, don't I? Come on, you. 0, 0. It's very cool. Right, there we go. Don't need to put it on there, do I? Put it on here. What did we do? We lived in Perthshire, moved there when I was 1.5. My dad did all the animals, the garden. He was a wood carver, so he used to carve like wee mini birds out of wood all by hand and sell them in the markets. And as time went on, he began to, especially after we got electricity, that really he began to get sort of nice assignments, or whatever you call them, commissions, that's the word, to do. Anyway, my mum was in charge of the house, the cooking, and she loved trying all the different things. Like she did sewing and knitting, and we kind of all learnt to do all types of crafts. But every year, all the fruit and vegetables that we had, a lot of them had to be prepared for winter. It was the old Kilner jars. They had to be put in the oven and cooked till they popped. And occasionally she'd give us rhubarb sticks, but she only used to give us like a tiny wee bit of sugar in an egg cup, and you got down 2 inches of your rhubarb stick and your sugar was gone, and you'd go and ask for more sugar and she'd say, no, you've had enough. And then you had to eat sour rhubarb after that. It was nice at the beginning. She didn't give us much sugar. It didn't do me any good. I just found ways and means to get sugar into my system. Right, I'm going to weigh the rhubarb. So that is 250, 300 nearly. Takes me a while to work these things out again. We're going for 3. Actually, I can just put this in. That makes sense. I can just pour it right on top and see how wrong it goes. There we go. Approximately half and half. And all I do now is just set this on to burn. Hopefully not. Hopefully I'm going to remember. Oh, switch the oven on. Always good as well. So there we go. I'm just going to tidy up, and then when I think it's ready, I'll come back and say hello and we'll finish off. Hopefully I need 2 jars maximum, but probably 1 and a wee bit. And see you then. Right, I've been doing some music practice. I've been out to feed the hens, and I've come back, and I reckon, I don't know if you can see that, it's really frothy and it's turning black, and possibly I've burnt it again, but it's not as bad as the last time. That's my theory. And the other thing is, when I started, when I put it on first, I put it on too hot and all this sugar crystallized, and I remember my mum making jam and the sugar all crystallized, and it was terrible. But I maybe managed to switch it off in time and put it on low until it cut itself. But that's the joy of cooking. I think we should start cookery programs by people that can't cook. Like karaoke, you know, if you can't sing very well, it encourages, if you're running the karaoke, it encourages other people to try, because they think they can do better than you or not so bad. And you know, it works. We should do the same with cooking. To be honest, my plan with cooking is to find friends that like to cook, that are good at it. And so then when you do a bad job yourself, which is very common in my case, then when you go for dinner somewhere else, the food is just incredible. And you get to appreciate them, and they get appreciated, and you appreciate them, and everyone's happy. And I really like cooking when I'm in the mood, but I don't seem to have any aspirations to get good at it. I just like to do it and let it be. So here we go. Ooh, don't do that, Elsa. No, no, no. Let's get rid of this wooden spoon. I know you're supposed to get a teaspoon and check and see if it's set, but I think it's well done. So, by my judgment of burnt jam, I think we're on to a good one. Ah, this is a better idea. Over the pan, Elsa. As you can see, I do not have a funnel to pour the jam into the jar, so you just get good at wiping the jars after. If they don't have labels on, hey, no problem. I have to say, I like the Hartley's jam jars. They're cool. Oh, can't talk and pour jam at the same time. Maybe I can. What will we talk about now? What we're going to do with it? If I have more than a jar, I give it to someone. The extra bits. Well, I could give this to someone because it's not too. I still have the last one, the burnt rhubarb, and I certainly can't give that to anyone. Yeah, it's looking less black this time. It's certainly not looking rhubarb pink. I think if it's rhubarb pink, it's probably you haven't cooked it enough and it's going to be runny, and I don't like runny jam. Maybe I put too much sugar in it as well. Toffee jam, whole new thing going on. I've only got this one wee one. I'll just put the last few bit in the dish. This is very cute and quite nice to give to people just as a wee cute present. go, look at that. It's going to be set okay. Does it taste any more rhubarby? To be honest, I'm not sure I can say for sure. I'm not sure I can say for sure. Whoop. Right, a wee mini plate. Perfect, that'll do. Get that finished today, no doubt. 1 scoopful of jam. Put it on the table today for the builder, Willie and Gary, and tell them it's got to be eaten or it'll be out of date. That's what seems to work. When we were in Norway living with friends there, or staying with friends, the lady of the house, she was an amazing cook, it was terrible, and she liked us to eat. But she used to say, if you don't finish up, it will rain tomorrow. And the things we used to do to stop it raining the next day, and to be honest, never really worked. Except that you just don't have so much rain in Norway as you do here on the Isle of Lewis. Oh, here we go. It does taste rhubarby. It's better than the last one. I quite like things being better than the last one. Anyway, I better go. Gary's going to be arriving anytime soon. And the sun is shining. If it shines, if it dries up a bit, I should be able to get out into the garden. And hopefully the end room will soon be done. As soon as it's done-ish, as soon as it's being put on hold, it's done enough to leave it. Our music gear is going in there and I'm going to have a music room and I'm so happy. Then I will be doing some things. Here's Gary. Bye. I thought if I did sugar and rhubarb mixed around in the bottom of this pan, I would be able to get rid of all the burnt marks from the pasta that I burnt from the other day. I burnt it so bad that I have sort of like dome rice shaped black lumps all over the bottom of the pan. Don't know if you can see that in pasta form. It's really cool, but they're not supposed to be there. And even boiling jam for half an hour or something has not got rid of them. But they are less, they're slightly less than they were. They'll come off in time, no doubt.